Let's move on to part 3 of this video. Within this program, I use this button to pause and this button to stop the video, and I push this button to record. So I actually push this button when I try to pause the video. Of course, that didn't happen. It pushed stop. And if it happens again, it doesn't happen too often to me. More often in videos where I'm going to pause it like 30 or 40 times, maybe not quite that many, but a decent amount, regardless of the fact. So we're into September, end of September, so there is the good game. The buy didn't happen. The sell order is barely over 3, so that peak didn't happen either for a sale. You're going through into now the 4th day of October, 6th day of October. And short term, there were some interesting moves here, 28 to 29, but that was very short term. And with that sale, the new sell order is now at 35, and volatility is so not so big that the sell order is even lower than 28. But the volatility you can see at this point would obviously be increasing a little bit, and there's a break of that resistance and having a bit of decent gains. But as far as all this is concerned, none of this movement has resulted into a trade as we move into, well, there's a trade, late October or mid-October. So this is, again, that big one that would go up to, it was a 2x move, basically. First sell order comes in at 35.85. However, with a high of 54.52 and sell order 3 in a little over 5,500, only 2 different sell orders get executed. For there was one at 42.71. So 30, there's 2 numbers in here, and one of them isn't right. 42.71. As I'll just put the spreadsheet up, it's 35.60 and 42.71. The lower sell order would bring in a buy order of 31.32. But the higher sell order, and normally it's a 12% buyback on sell order 1, it's a 15% buyback on sell order 2. But that still gets the number over 35. So when I wrote on the instructions that all gains percentage losses are that or better, and 35.60 again sees 31, 30, 31. Actually, I calculated. I had to calculate it differently because I can use the calculator, I guess, to show you. And what was the cell number again? Because 42.71. So that works out to 36.30. So as we can see, that I can buy at 34.41, which is exactly what you would do. Now, generally speaking, when you see a move like this with a big line coming back, that is usually that of like an artificial breakout, as it is anyway. Sometimes other exchanges don't even see it. Someone just buys or sells so big. And because of that, that's why I like having these orders in as you would go. The new sell order in at 39.57. And of course 31.32, which is this line here, almost hitting. And you got that tight range that it's in, looking to either sell at 31 or buy at 31 or sell near 40. And there's the sell order hitting. And then as we continue on further, it looks like the buy order hit there. 34.83, 34.80, and sure enough it did. And as we continue on further, nice move, but no sell. That sell didn't hit. We can see it's a little bit below. Another bad luck, but it didn't matter because it came through again, and you could have got better. Who cares? And then as we continue on post-sale, we see a few days go by, almost hit a buy order, but not quite. Up to 42. We still haven't got the new sale in yet. It's looking like it did there. Well, it obviously did. Had, of course. This is, of course, going back what would have happened for purposes of playing any coin one may like within a strategy like this. And 52.94 is your new sale. Obviously buying over 4. And that's sold. And then it bought back immediately right there at the 465. And within this math, what's going to happen is these sell orders and buy orders, if it goes back and forth, the sell orders will get a little bit higher every time, and the buy orders will also do such as well. You're never going to be putting in new buy orders like this because they're already in from previous sales. And as we move on, we can just go through time. We're now into November, so we have a month to go to current time, and we'll be done shortly. Be able to put the data into the spreadsheet, get some statistics on how it's done. But right now, we get the 4,050 buy order hit. We'll place the sell order at 46.58, marginally above the highest end of the screen, as we can see here. And then we will move on now. November the 7th, November the 8th, now the 9th. We almost got it on that day, as well as almost on the 10th as well. Actually, no, that's the line for volume, I guess. There's the buy order that got hit. We can see it's going to go up right after that, but 35.21 is the third consecutive buy order in a row. We'll look to sell that a little over 4,000 at 40.50 exactly. And there it hits. And when you see volatility like this, don't be surprised oftentimes. I don't know from what I'm going to see forward at the next 5, 6, 10 periods. But having a buyer sell order hit soon is not a surprise because of, as we can see, the larger candle slowing down a bit here. And okay, so it didn't happen. No quick. Volatility has gotten a little lower as we head into November 18th, 19th. Thus, we got about 2 weeks of time to go. And obviously, it's a buy at 35.64. And then now going further, does this decline give us another one? It did at 31.32. This makes 5 of the last 6 order fills that of buys. And now we go into November 20th, the 21st, down on the 22nd, down again on the 24th, but not to where the buy was. Just a these noticeable hair above, but it's sold. Look at that fast move. And then it buys back. So you can think of it this way. You just got free coins. So if you did nothing from this point onto here, you'd have what you had before. Now you'd have a small amount more. And of course you want to do this in mass quantity. Of course, all these trades back and forth. And it didn't hit the sale there, although it came closer there, but it did hit it at the third attempt at 36.45. Sell order now in at 41.92, and let's see how November goes. November 30th. Now we're only a few days away from where we stand right now, December 2nd. Maybe there won't be any more trades until then. This should hit because everything's down today. And in fact, this thing does have an interesting move going up. But there we go. There's a hit at 32.07. It's got an interesting move right now. The sell order has been lifted up to 36.89, and I knew this was probably going to happen because I know what the last couple of days have brought, but your sell order would hit. And then the consolidation through time and another sell order hitting. Now that event happened 14 hours ago, so there's only like 12, 13 of these remaining, which had a down move, up move, down move. Because this is now December the 6th. Today's date at 3 o'clock. Then down. And there's your buy. And I think we can safely assume that that's where we'll end this video, with a buy at 37.33. At the time, you put a sell order in at 42.93. You already have 32.46 awaiting. And this game, of course, we are now concluding such. And we look at this on a daily time frame. You would still have these, and I deleted 1 or 2 as well, but you'd have these buy orders in place, plus the insane ones that you already put in before as well. never really any need really to take those insane orders out. I mean, just have them there ready to go. Unless, of course, you need your base currency, then that would be a reason. Now, these orders here, no, they weren't legit. I just had them there just in case I'd move them as need be as I was doing this exercise. Because every single time a new buy or a new sell order comes in, all of your sell orders would then get changed. So now we got data. I've got all of this data from the last. I don't think this was just a reference cell too. I don't think I really need it. So let's just take that out. I did another cell too as well, right here. So let's put this information, this data, these numbers into a spreadsheet. And this is 559 even, yeah. I'm like, why is there 3 digits? That was that amazing buy. And now we'll go into a spreadsheet. We have a few data points from before that was put in. Is this... Just want to make sure this is a correct spreadsheet. This was the... This isn't the correct one. 7. Sheet 2. That was XBY. Now this should be correct. Okay, that's just, yeah, I've already got up to 2627. That's why. That's what, because I already pasted that from the last video. That makes sense. So now I need everything from below 2627. And these were multiple ones I put in because I wanted to do 5 different sell orders. That's why there's 5 here. Or 5 different buy orders from that event. I did that in here. Alright then, so let's get in the copy and paste whatever formulas we need. We're going to need this one and the one beside that as well. This one here is a formula, so I'm going to need this. This tells you what 10%. I mean, why do I even have that? I know what 10% is so easy just by looking at it. Okay, so now we've got, let's just put in some statistics as I got to get this data in here. So what I mentioned was selling 400 of them at this point, which I did right here. So let's get rid of some of these rows. This can be smaller. This can be smaller. Even this can be smaller too. Bit bigger than that though. Okay, so that's smaller. Ownership can be smaller. This can be this doesn't even be needed anymore. And let's make it so that we don't need that. This can be smaller. This can be smaller. This can be smaller. And I could be rounding this too, which I'd rather do. So we'll format these cells and put this into 0 decimals. And then shrink the size. All right, so then after in here, we're now looking, we went to a buy. So how many did we buy? Well, we're buying what was sold the previous time, or that much. Technically speaking, I should just probably paste this to the very bottom and it's already ready to go. Actually, no, don't do that. I'll just, how many did we, yeah, just copy and paste this. When I do this without doing a video, I never have these types of brain freezes, at least not as often. Okay, so now we got a sell that comes in at the 36.58. What are we selling? 10%. So that's like 910. We're selling 10% again. That would be 820. So what I did before was I would bold this to state, yeah, I got this buy order back. And therefore, I'll just copy and paste this over here to get... So we started off selling 260. I mean, then after the buy, I mean, the stakes obviously got a lot higher. So therefore, there's a buyback, which comes from here. You know what I'll do? I'll just go like that. You know, I can just do it. It's not like I'll just paste it all away. So 2,214 would have been obviously bought at that point. So now continuing on, I'm not going slower than I would definitely want to. 950, we can always copy and paste this all the way down too. I mean, it's not like there's much to do at this stage. There's only a few trades that would have been activated. And I guess this one should be bold as well because we did that. There's the buyback. Bold this. And then put in equals. Equals. See, these I put in manually. I believe I buy number there 216, 238. I need this formula is what I'm looking for here. That's right. So the fact that I buy it back here, I'd actually buy back 453. Which means that I would instead be now selling 740 here instead. And then 670 instead of that. And then let's just copy, paste this over here. So 785, which means at this stage, 680 would be at this point. And we'll just copy and paste this all the way through. And I was wondering when that came up why it wasn't 02, because I mean, I did this yesterday with XBY, and I mean, it worked like a charm doing this. Okay, so that buy board, so now another buy order comes in, which would be this one. So we can bold this, knowing that that execution has already taken place. We have a sell order here for owning 7,000, so let's do 770. Just keep on rounding it down like that. And we'll bold it because it's a sell that comes in again. Or a buyback, rather, I should say. And there's 872 more. So now we have 786 that we sell here. We're selling again 707. Selling again 637. Yeah, some of these were sell order twos. That's right. But you know what? For what it's worth, this is fine the rest of the way. I'm happy with how these results will work. 427. It's not going to reduce, it's going to barely reduce your net gain by like a minuscule amount, because there was a couple sell order twos in there, which would have sold a little bit more, but I mean, it would have been like an extra like 5, 10, 15 coins. So I'm not even going to worry which ones were S2s. And then we got the buyback from this one. Which would get us 528 more. Sell 583. Just want to make sure everything is right. Yeah. It's all good. It's just to go from selling 427, buying 528. Why was that 427? That should have been 573. I was wondering, again, I was like, okay, those numbers weren't right. And I knew it based on the fact that this number was way too high. Okay, so there we go. That makes sense now. So there's the buyback here. Bold that. And then we'll put some sells in. We'll go 594, 535, 482. And then all three of them are going to buy back. So I might as well just bold them all. And then go equals the recent one, equals the one before that. Because again, when you're buying back, if you sold for 0.023724 Bitcoin, spend 0.023724 Bitcoin back. And there we have it there. Nice little trade. So we were selling 482. Now we're going to be moving it up to 616. And then we got a buyback again, which is always nice to have some of them. So that's this one in here, buying back 697. And what you can notice is you buy 672, you sell 616. So you can look at that, oh, that's a gain of like 56. Or you can look at it this way, as in, and this is the way I look at it as, I sold 616, I bought 697, I gained 81. And then this one, what was the last buyback? This one here. So this one will be this buyback. We'll bold that. Sell again. We'll be selling 696 of these and buy it back immediately. Of course, I don't know how immediate it would have been. It would have just been the next trade, of course. So 788. We got 705 to sell here. And then the buyback immediate. Okay, when I say immediate, just the next one, of course. And then a sell again, which would be 714. And then 643. And I don't need to bold this because this is the last one. We'll just go equals this. Don't need this. And it's done. Let me just copy and paste this through so we know how many we'd have, which is 6,520. You entered the game with 2,168. After the phenomenal buy, you had 6,005, or 9,008 rather, after it was 26.27. So the market's up. So you actually got less. So you're trying to gain, but that's because of the situation that you've been selling, looking to buy back. It is going to work out that you are going to have less shares oftentimes, but because of different buybacks here and there, you can have some pretty interesting results depending on, of course, how the volatility works. Overall, of course, the volatility has been very low. So let's take a look at this. And remember, this wasn't working before, and I don't know. Okay, now it's fine. So how this is work is your net Bitcoin. This is how much you are up or down since. So you bought minus 10 to start, and then your portfolio was worth such. The portfolio was going down in the early going. And let's just say, so row 1, so basically 14 was after the play. So even after all was said and done, everything was still just barely profiting. Really? Well, 0.03, that's 3%, or 30% rather. No, 30, I'm thinking of the one number. I'm like, oh, you're up 3.4%. No, that can't be right. No, you'd be up 34% because you started at 0.1 and you're at 0.03 there. Portfolio is practically up, now it's up 1 or 11% here. And then it's, so the last, it was a negative figures here. It probably will never, it might not ever go back to negative. Now you're doubled. So you would have doubled your portfolio value at that stage. 0.2, you would have tripled it. And then it goes down to 0.13. And what's the last trade? Are we at it? Yep, so 50. So we're right on the last one. So you'd be up about 150% at this stage because you started with 0.1. You would have a portfolio worth 0.24. Whatever amount, if you deposited 0.1 Bitcoin into it, and then whatever else more, obviously you would have you'd have negative 0.09, meaning if you had 50 Bitcoin in there, you'd have 0.411 or whatever. That'd be less, you'd have this much less of what your amount of Bitcoin deposits would be. That's another way of putting it. But that's the general strategy for such. And when you're playing this, what percentages do you want to choose? Do you want to wait for just 20 or 30% moves to come in? Play the volatility. When volatility is low, I'm going to play for this lower percentage. And when volatility increases, I'm going to increase it accordingly. And then how many do you sell again? Okay, so before maybe even the low volatility, maybe you were selling every time it goes up 15%, and maybe you'd sell 10% of what you own. But now you're like, you know what? I think I can sell for over like 30% because of what's going on, but I want to sell now 20% of what I own or 18%. Figure out how you want to do it from there on the mathematical level. Now, what I'll probably end up doing myself is I will play the higher levels, like the buy low, sell high, and just, okay, I'm just going to play it like I do a lot of the other codes. But I'm going to be getting into maybe, I got to find out the coins that I really, really like that I think for the future. So if you have any suggestions, again, let me know. But I hope you've found this not really entertaining, because I'm not here to entertain you. Educational, informative, and helpful for your trading strategy. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.